Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope the ads, if you saw them, weren't too annoying. I think I have rebuilt the tier list now. And let's see if I can bring this up. Oh, there we go. Does this work? Yes, this does work. Just need to make sure that everything is sorted here. Yeah, we got it. So, we have a couple of tiers. We have, let me bring this up so that everyone can see it properly here. We have, when do we play? We have great fun, let's go. We have, yeah, sure, yes, I must, no. Haven't played, but I want to. Haven't played, there's other games first. And haven't played, why did I buy this? And we'll say most of these are like really fun. And so let me actually bring up different playlist. Let's do some Zelda and chill. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a shame. I had everything by I had everything alphabetized, but currently I do not. So we are just going through all of these and see where we end up. First off, we have Vampire the Masquerade. Now, it may surprise you to know that I haven't played Vampire the Masquerade. So they go in one of these. And I think they go into the haven't played, but I want to. Classic AG teenage golf game. Yeah. I have played another one. What? Bluetooth? 20 gift subs? Thank you. And thank you so much for the follow. We do anonymous follows here. If you want to say hi in chat, you're very welcome to do so, but there is no rush. Jackal came in with the gift sub. That's really cool. We have how many? Everyone, let me see. I can't really see all of the names. We have Lord Billy 87, Magromancer, Katie Westy, Seppi Meow, Mes Dupe Moi, Alice Napalm, J Burb Games, Rack Wraith Razor, Anthracite. We have Lady Maythrill, Ray of Swords, Tay the Floof, Dissy Games, Belgian Orange, Lance Billion, Sutuna 1, Random Dudeth, GTH 1980, Jackal, and Cappuccino. That is more gift subs from For Fawn and Games, Frostcatcher, Oddly Generic, Blurdy Disposition, and Nabidoo. Those are such lovely names. I see some really cool friends in there. I believe you've now broken me. You have also broken my goal mark in that it doesn't really know what to do after, I believe, 25. And we've reached a new hype train record because level 6 is we've never reached level 6 before. Okay. See, I knew I had great friends. And this proves that in a way financially, and I know that that is not the mark to hit, because like I know that you're all such lovely folks, and I'm really glad bonus payout comes in tomorrow, so why not share? Oh, Flute is. That is really kind. I was going to offer that I pay for some gift subs. I don't think it's necessary anymore. But I do want to give back to the community, because this, I will say, is ridiculous, and I very much appreciate it. We've reached 51 out of 50 subs, and let me make it a nice a nice round number. I'm going to do a silly thing myself. There you go. I hope the 13 folks here, Richard Dean, The Wonder Bubble, Dimples and Dice, Mega Dash, Life Spark, Quantum Ops, Solar Bear Sunny, Vegani Dragonkin, Slayla, Redzold, Void Grove, Valdel, and Primal Magician will have a lovely time, and we're now at 60 gift subs for this stream. My goodness, and we haven't even gotten to game 2 yet of the tier list. So many subs. We are going to continue this, because otherwise I'm just going to get stuck in an infinite loop of thank yous, and that is the game Altered Carbon. I have a special edition book, like the core book for this, and I'm going to put it in why did I buy this. I know why I bought this, and it's because of the perks. I have UV reactant dice, and my very good friends Ludis and Stamkunst built me a dice box with UV LEDs in it. Oh, thank you, Stom, for those gift subs. No gift subs, bits. You want in on the train? Did you get in on the train, or I think you just missed the train. I'm sorry. Oh no, you did get in on it. Yeah, 25 sub gifts and 100 bits. Choo choo. I also got an emote. It's a... Oh, very cute. And we got the goal! Yay! But Flutters and Stamkunst built me a dice box with UV light LEDs in them. So you can, in fact, it is an emote, but you can in fact read what is on the dice, because otherwise they're just clear. Which is silly. But yeah. I have seen people play Altered Carbon, the TTRPG, and from what I know of it, it's a very clunky system. And it's like more of a hassle to play than anything. And that is a gripe that I have with other games as well. We come to break. Break, exclamation point, which is a anime-esque TTRPG. Given what I saw of the show, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. So let's wait for a bit as we're still in Altered Carbon talk. But like there's a way of checking if like what kind of sleeve, like what kind of body do you have, and then what is the stats for your mind that is in your body. And usually it is very much like a question of, well, you can talk with your GM about what you get and stuff like that. But as far as I can tell, it very much reinforces the difference in power between someone who's like poor and has their own sleeve versus, you know, one of the super wealthy Methuselah characters. Herb! Hi Herb, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, that's why Altered Carbon is the first game that I have here that in fact is in the haven't played and why did I buy this here. Break is an anime-esque TTRPG with, I believe, like 8 classes and a handful of species that you can play, but the art is absolutely amazing. So I haven't played this, but I want to. It's very much in here, and I think it's even like top of the list in I want to play this, at least when Vampire the Masquerade is concerned. Let me actually see if I can grab the Break or book, because I have the book actual edition again, the physical copy, and I have what's the word? I have the PDF. Of course, I have the PDF. So let me see. Break RPG core rules, and I'll just show this here. As you can see, this is the cover, and it's just so cute. The style is really good. I want to play this maybe with the Hyrule Chronicles crew if we have the time for it. But we have callings. Those are kind of like your classes, and then you have your species. And there's just the layout is great, and you have all of these different little vignettes of illustrations that just feel so fitting. So you have the factotum. That's kind of like you make things, and you can you're like a merchant or an artificer. I guess some recognition on the title page, just don't know what memory triggers. Something like Studio Ghibli or what was it? There was a recent anime, Zenshu, I think, which was like an anime director falling into an older anime movie. Dragon Quest, yes. And then basically new anime style falling into old movie anime, like 80s anime style, which was really well done. You could definitely tell the difference one way or the other. Also, as I've seen in the Discord, if you want to play a battle princess or a murder princess, they're fully, there's no gender locking. You can be male or non-binary battle princess. You can be a battle prince or a murder prince, or princeps. It's Zelda, yeah! Yeah, that's fair. Look at all of these little illustrations. They're so cute. I will show you the battle princess because I like the battle princess. There's a raider, or like a ranger or a hunter. And battle princess, look at her, she's so cute. Combining bright magic and martial prowess to defend what they hold most dear. Those under their ward will have hope in their hearts, even in the darkest of times. Then you get a soul companion. And there's the murder princess. Dark Avengers. It also doesn't help that I am currently playing Zelda music, so... There's also in the species list, you have native humans and dimensional stray humans. Native humans live in this fantasy world. Dimensional stray humans are from our world. So if you want to have an isekai fantasy, like I'm from this world but I fell into whatever portal and found myself in a fantasy world, you can in fact do that. So yeah, this is very much in the category of haven't played but really want to. Then we get to, you might have ideas for one of the isekai characters. Oh, excellent. We get to Cities Without Number. This is a cyberpunk version of Stars Without Number, which was kind of like a sci-fi. And this goes into the haven't played other games first. I have read through some of it, and it feels much more like a... maybe if I really have a good setting for it, but so far I don't. So that is kind of the thing there. I think we do the D&Ds now. So we have 3 or 3.5 edition D&D. This is very much like an if I must. And that is kind of the same with 5th edition. Those are very much if I must play it, then I will. As currently I have stopped, or I finished my D&D 5th edition campaign, and that is very much I am looking to play other things now. Danny says, I will play anything once, I don't want a 3.5 though. Is fair. Do you feel the same about Pathfinder? Because I do feel that Pathfinder fixed some of the rough edges of 3.5. Which, you've played a lot of Pathfinder. Okay, that's fair. There is also 4E. What version is Pathfinder on by now? 2nd edition. Technically, I would say 2.5. You would not want to play Pathfinder 1, but worse. I would say 4th edition is in my I guess range, my tier of I guess. Because I've played that once. I've played that on a rather high level in a friendly local game store. And yeah, we'll be playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition with the second Hyrule Chronicles game. That is correct. We are working on that as we speak, pretty much. And we'll be playing with an updated rule set. So that's why I said like 2.5, because it is still compatible with 2E. But they have improved some of the rules. And so 4th edition was like, I've played it only once, but it was a good view into a system that felt it felt different. And that's very much it felt different from what D&D is, and it felt different enough that I'm willing to give that another shot if it comes to that. But so far, not really. Not really in the mood for D&D anymore. We get to Daggerheart, and Daggerheart is great fun. Let's go. I was going to put it into haven't played, but I have played it. I've played a quick start adventure. And this is maybe in the yeah, sure, even still. Though, no, I feel like currently there's still that sense of novelty here, where like, I want to play more of this. The quick start adventure, the person running it allowed us to make our own characters instead of the pre-generated characters, and that helped me to kind of build a character that was still working alongside the story, so still working to the same goals as the pre-generated characters, but also felt more mine. It felt more like I could be not necessarily myself, but I could add more of myself into the character. So I'm currently looking forward to playing it. And he says, I played a game of 4th edition D&D. It was the first TTRPG I played. I thought it was alright, but everyone I was playing with was more experienced with TTRPGs and got sick of it pretty quick. We switched to Dark Heresy. That is a very different system. Fludis says, I feel relatively comfortable with D&D 5th edition, much less with other systems. The narrative-driven systems I really need to put in effort, as it requires more narrative from players as well. That is correct. Is Worldwide Wrestling on my list? DJ, it is not, because I do not own that game. Or, I would say, I haven't paid for that game. Because there are some games on here that I've paid for, but do not own yet, either because it hasn't shipped, or because it hasn't delivered yet, or it is still in the works. So, and then he says, I'm okay with any system as long as it's not too crunchy. Pathfinder 1st edition is the highest amount of crunch you can take, and Dark Heresy was a lot better, though. Nice. Also, Stom calls out Fludis, you're still pretty darn good at that, though. More than I know you give yourself credit for. Yeah, I would say so. Because, I believe, did we play Dread, or did we just play Fiasco? I think we played Dread with the two of you and another friend, right? We played Dread, yes. Speaking of Dread, this is also very much great fun, let's go. Let's see, yeah, you're right. That was a while ago. Dread is a game that doesn't use dice, it uses a block tower. And yes, usually that is the branded name Jenga tower. And it is a lot of fun. It is very tense. And I'm really glad to have been able to push into that discomfort as well, where it's just like someone is trying to pull block from that tower, and all the while I am narrating all of the dreadful things that are about to happen. and then when the block gets pulled from the tower, it all fades again. Danny hasn't played it, but knows that he would suck so bad at it. That is also partly the fun. Though with Dread, I don't see it working with anything beyond a one-shot. It was very immersive. I really enjoyed it. We played a scenario where you were pledges for a university student corps. This is kind of like a Greek fraternity, but Dutch. And it is no, it's not frat-ish. It is frat. It's just Dutch. Dutch frat. And like the one that I went to was frat-ish. There's no very strong hazing. Yeah, broederschap, very much it. You're going to slide out. Go rest, Ray. Thank you so much for being here. It was such a delight to see you around. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your night. Felicities can see issues with trying to do more than a one-shot. A Jenga tower would need to be captured and well, not necessarily that. Look, you can rebuild it and like figure out like, hey, the tension is lower now or it's higher now, and remove more blocks from it to start. I think that's a typo. Yeah, that's a typo. Typing is hard and it's getting late. But yeah, Dread is very much a specific scenario, specific characters, and just build out your horror movie as you go. That is how it works. That is its strength. And its weakness is it can't really work beyond that. Though I could very easily see you using Dread as like a one-shot in a longer running campaign. If you play like something else, but that you would have to really work on to fit it into the narrative. Because if you're playing D&D or if you're playing Daggerheart or anything where it's like, okay, but actually there is a big monster that is scary, I shoot them. The beach episode is Dread. Yeah, like you could, I think you could, but it is very much a thing like, if you play D&D, you have to end a session where the players are all in a situation where they are helpless or near helpless. Then you play a session of Dread, and then you continue. But like, chances are everyone is dead, or chances are everyone but one is dead. So that's tricky. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Dread as a dream sequence. Ooh. I mean, I think a dream sequence, specifically as like a throwback or a throwback. Oh, what's the word? Flashback. Yeah, as a flashback to Dread as Death House. Kind of. But instead of fighting the monster in the basement, if you fight the monster in the basement, you will die. Alternate reality type situation, or maybe like a flashback from other people that have experienced the same thing, and now you're going into it more prepared, so you go back to the original system. That might work. Then we come to one that is, I would say, like one step removed from problematic. And that is Everyone is John. Everyone is John is a game where you play as a party one character. You play John, as in everyone is John. John has, according to the rules as written, dissociative identity disorder. My Little Pony is kind of fun. Yeah, I still want to play that, either as co-DM or DM or player. Everyone is John. You kind of feel very much competitive with your fellow players, because you all have your own wants, your needs, your goals that are opposite to everyone else's, or at least not compatible with them most of the time. I have run it, I think twice. And the way I ran it, because I didn't want to wade into the idea of like, this is a person that has this mental condition, that we ran it once at my place. And I ran it that the player characters, as it were, like the alters, or the way that the different personalities, they had emerged through some sort of accident or through some sort of supernatural accident. I believe I said that John was hit by a meteorite and then everything started. So this is an if I must situation. I don't think I would immediately say like no to this. And yeah, rather play something that is more cooperative. Absolutely. This is a once in a blue moon thing. I feel maybe this is a no even. Okay, I'll put this in a no, but then I'll also put 5e in a no. Fabula Ultima. This is definitely a yeah, sure. Like if someone suggests like, hey, do you want to play Fabula Ultima? Yeah, sure, absolutely. All in. I've DM'd it on stream for the Hyrule Chronicles crew, and I think it was fun. I do want to see what it is like as a player, because I've not experienced that yet. I think, in that case, Honey Heist. Very simple, also in the great fun, let's go. Like, if someone wants to fill an evening and says, hey, let's play Honey Heist, I'm in. I am so in. It is so simple, and it is such great fun. I think that's the important thing there. You don't think you've played any of those one-page RPGs? Well, maybe we should figure that out then. We get to Hunter the Reckoning. This is kind of here. And I think it is higher than Vampire, but lower than Break. I have the book. I want to run a game where we just play in like my neighborhood, like city and surrounding areas. You would rather hunt than Vampire too. That's fair. And I don't yet know what the situation is going to be, but I'm going to see if I can delve into mythology and folklore of the Netherlands and nearby Frisia. Upside of one-page RPG. No complexity in rules, much more at DM player discretion. However, lack of rules can probably cause confusion and disagreement. And that is... So I think having less ambiguity in rules is good for when you're playing with new people. If you have a group that you click with, that you know, like, hey, how do people engage with each other? Having less rules, or having more ambiguous rules, maybe? Rules that contradict each other at times, it is fine. Danny played a hunter game. Turns out having a really good baseball bat fucks things up. Good to know. So, yeah, Hunter is definitely a game that I would like to play someday. I don't know when it is going to happen. Probably later on. Maybe even this year still, or earlier next year, maybe. But we get to Lancer. If you run Lancer, I am there. I am looking forward to Monday as we finish our two-parter. Might Changeling be a better fit for a World of Darkness leaning on Dutch folklore? Tricky, because not all of our folklore is Fae. There is a lot of Fae involvement there, I would say. Maybe Changeling would be better. Possibly. But as Danny Cat says, big bots, 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 big bots. Absolutely. The fuck yes. This I want to play pretty much all the time. Runes permitting, you will be walking home on fire. We'll see, Whisper, we will see. We get to Numenera. Numenera, even. Haven't played it. Still think it's really fun or interesting to play, but I think it goes here. There are other games that I want to play first. But I do love the setting. It is really interesting to see it. And I am very curious to play it as a... I think as a player first. The... whatever you do, don't pick the carries or quiver power. It's fucking useless. Everything else is good. Okay, good to know. So, that is a thing that comes up because Numenera is based off of the Cypher system. Rather, the Cypher system was built and then Numenera was kind of the packaged title. And there is another game that I've played with the Cypher system. That is the Magnus Archives, which will come up. Danny likes the system's way of building characters. I haven't been on that side yet, but I have heard good things about it, and it seems like it's a lot of fun to do, yes. We get to Pathfinder First Edition, which I think will be in the top of the tier. Adjective, noun, who, verbs. Yes. Noob, well done. That is very good. That is so very good that you would say it is nice. But yeah, Danny Cat says adjective, noun, verbs. That is how you build your character. So you can build like a flighty gunslinger who is always on their guard. And that means maybe bad at social interactions, flighty, has a gun, can shoot, who's always on their guard, high perception. Then you already know kind of what that character does and what they're like. The verbs are set for Numenera because those give you your powers. That is true. I do not have the list with me. But I do have the 2 books and a big... We get to Pathfinder 2nd edition. Yeah, let's go. I want to play it because we are going to be playing Hyrule Chronicles 2 in it. I have played Pathfinder as Game Master. And that was my first interaction with GMing. That was in 2014. 11 years ago. My goodness. Draw Steel. Very much in the haven't played, but I want to, because I have, in fact, backed this. The books are going off to the printer soon, I've heard, or they have gone to the printer. And so I am waiting for them to arrive. It will take a while still. Hopefully, I'll be getting a notification that Daggerheart is going to be shipping next week, because I haven't heard from it this week yet. It was supposed to be this week or next week. So I'll get that book first. In like the 2... I feel for myself, Daggerheart and Draw Steel are the 2 contenders for replacing D&D. Not in the sense that they'll be the next big thing, but more in the sense of they will pick up where I left off with playing D&D. Then he says, if you've ever looked at the combat maneuver bonus, you've played Pathfinder. Yeah. Scion, great fun, let's go. This is specifically 2nd edition. We're playing Midnight Storm, it's a lot of fun. It is mostly the players, I think, because the game Scion is complex for me. So it's something that I have to get into and I'll figure out like, hey, oh, what am I doing again? This combat needs a rework, but I love it. It's really good to build characters to start figuring out and understanding like what are their goals and how do we pull that into the narrative. Okay, this is a D&D 5e clone, or like it's built on the system. I think Stargate SG-1, the TTRPG goes in, I guess, and probably higher than 4th E. Because I did have fun with that, and it is very specifically built on a existing like franchise of a world. And so the reason I like Stargate is it is a game that is set in a very specific franchise, or like a very specific world already built. There are a couple games that I like in that way. Sometimes it is a reason for me to pull away from games. Like, it is just that I do not like the world, or rather, I do not like playing in that world. Like, I like reading about it, I like envisioning it, I like stories set in a different world, but I might not want to play in there. Like, as a TTRPG tie-in for an established media thing, it's pretty good, but that's because a lot of them suck. That is true. That is true. I will go next to Tales from the Loop. And I feel like this is also in haven't played, but there's other games first. Tales from the Loop is based on artwork, very specific artwork from a Scandinavian artist. I'm going to I believe Simon Stålenhöj. Swedish artist, musician, and designer specializing in retro futuristic digital art. I have a book from this as well. So let me pull that up so you can see kind of the art that I'm referring to. Go Badge! Scamesy, I love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out for so long. It is really, really lovely. DJ says, I've always been wary of a Doctor Who TTRPG because you can't all be the Doctor, so what is the point? Yeah, that is fair. You can make it one of the crossover episodes with 3 Doctors or more. Yep, that is true. But Tales from the Loop is you play as teenagers or kids in the 80s near, I believe, like a large particle accelerator, and then weird stuff happens. Let me see if I can find some really good art for that. It is retro futuristic, as description said, and it just like you can be a kid that finds himself face to face with a mech suit. It's Stranger Things-ish, but less eldritch horror and more mechanical horrors. And even less mechanical horrors and more mechanical weirdness. AJ is also going to be falling asleep. Yeah, that's fair. Go get some rest. So there's a separate setting for when you want to play in the in Scandinavia or in the United States. Oh, going a little bit fast. So this is Boulder City. You either play it in the Arctic Circle or you're playing in Arizona. And you might find yourself like dealing with this kind of thing. Or a robot that resembles one of your classmates. And your classmate is missing. How strange. But yeah, you're always playing a character that can't rely on adults, because adults are useless in this game. They always are. In this game, your character is between 10 and 15 years old. Your age affects your attribute score and the amount of luck points you have. The younger you are, the weaker you are, but the more luck you have. Most before we completely break the laws of time instead of just bending them. That is very fair. You've played a Persona, yeah. But yeah, that is very much a haven't played. There are other games first, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to play it. Like, if someone suggests it, I unfortunately need to befriend more GMs. It's just the way it is. Denny says, I've seen some of these pictures around on the internet. Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. Next up. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Let's go! Very much a... Oh no, oh no. Okay, I froze for a moment, but I'm good. Tried running a game once and it wasn't for me. Made me too anxious. Tales from the Loop? Fair. Yeah, that's fair. So just a... Oh, okay. That is fair. Yeah. I think... I have opinions about this that are more nuanced than just a 30-second sentence. Urban Bohemian says, I like running games, but I get really nervous. They were all streamed though, so that was part of it. That makes sense. I get nervous too when I stream on air. But most of that those nerves are because I'm running a system that I'm new at. And most of the games that I've run were very much this is currently like Hyrule Chronicles hiatus. We're playing new games so that we get more of a taste of what is possible and what is available. But I do want to run more games on stream. Right, so full thoughts on this. I don't think I can get out in relatively short time. Did I raid Pugmire? It is... Oh, Pugmire is a system. It is just heavily based on 5e. I don't have Pugmire first edition. I am getting second edition sometime when it's finished. So I don't have Pugmire second edition yet. I would probably put Pugmire near the I guess or the yeah sure tier. But Pugmire has some issues where I feel that they have the same issues as D&D 5th edition. And I think Pugmire 2nd edition comes into the haven't played other games first tier. Because I do want to see how it plays, and the game that we've played together, Son, the one that you ran, I feel it shows one of the flaws that is inherent in D&D 5th edition, which is that at very low levels, combat is incredibly swingy, and it's either no challenge at all or deadly. That is not a flaw of yours, Son. Not at all. You did great. I think, specifically for Pugmire, you were a great DM. And I mean that to say that you had the tone of the game down pat. That was really good. That's fine. That's a pitfall that you can recognize in yourself. I don't see it personally. But we all have our things that we want to improve or feel that we are we all have our things that we feel insecure about. And that could be with or without cause. And yeah, sometimes with improv, there are things where it's like, yeah, but what about this? And it's very fair to say, like, that is not important. It does break down the immersion. And I will say, sometimes a door is just a door, a chair is just a chair, and sometimes the evil looking brooding figure in the corner is just the DM having a bit of a brain fart and going like, I made that enemy too, or that enemy even, I made that NPC too threatening, whoops. But I did forget about Quagmire because I don't have anything of that yet, and it's been so long that I've kind of forgotten about the development. I do every month get like an update for it. It kind of fell off my radar, I will say. Denny is in a lot of overthinking parties. We spend a lot of times outside doors. Yeah, that's fair. Do you feel that's the Hyrule Chronicles crew as well? Because I sometimes feel that way with Renji, wanting to do a certain thing the best or perfect way. I'd rather overthink than underthink. Yeah, that's fair. Quagmire, Tephra. What is Tephra? I do not know what that is. And Pokemon United are the only systems I know well. We do have the Avatar game still. Yeah. And I had fun playing that with you. Tephra Steampunk. Ooh. Neat. We were at Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I haven't elaborated on why that is in great fun. Let's go. Because the games that I've played in there, and I think I've only played the 2 games on stream for Thirsty Sword Lesbians, they were great fun. I will say, I've had a great group for that in particular. And I feel that for a game like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, the group is what makes it. This is not a game that I would play with any old group. I would not want to play this with my regular D&D group, or like now post D&D group. There are a couple of players in that game where I was like, I do not want you I don't think you want to be anywhere near narrative games. And there's a couple of people that in that group that I feel like, yeah, you don't have a grasp of... You do not have a grasp on queer theory that I feel is necessary to play this game, or a character in this game, in any possible way where you can have some semblance of verisimilitude. Sunbury played as satyr, genetically engineered, manufactured creatures, and one study perk is alcohol is a stimulant, not a depressant. My character made early money by betting with unknowing people and drinking them under the table. Can I play Thirsty Sword Lesbians as the other kind of gay? Yes, you do not have to be a lesbian. You do not have to be thirsty. You do not have to have a sword. But the book does say, in I would say some kind but strong words, that if you are fully straight, like cis, hetero, you will probably not have a good time. Genuinely. Like, you at least have to have... Like, some of my friends are gay to pass the threshold of possibly enjoying Thirsty Sword Lesbians. yeah, that's kind of EphraRPG.com if I'm curious. I am curious. I do want to look this up, but I'm going to grab Thirsty Sword Lesbians first. To see where it says what I just said it has. It has a glossary of queer terms. It starts with aromantic. It ends with valid. Definition: you. Let's see. It had a part somewhere. It also specifically has a section, no fascists or bigots allowed. Which is, I think, important to have in a game, especially when it deals with topics like this. Pretty sure everyone I play games with is at least cool with all that stuff, even if they're cis straight white guys. Don't know all the specifics about people, for instance, in the Hyrule Chronicles crew. I feel like with that group, I would be comfortable playing it, yeah. Also, same with the Midnight Storm crew. Yeah, I would definitely feel comfortable playing that with you all. Let's see. Herb says, I did run a Thirsty Sword Lesbian game for 4 Femmes, and it was a hoot. Excellent. That is so wonderful. Sun is chilling, taking a post-lunch nap. Wonderful. I hope you rest well, Sunbury. Thank you so much for playing and hanging out. If they weren't cool with that stuff, you probably wouldn't still be playing with them. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. There are groups where I was like, am I comfortable with that sort of thing? In some groups, I'm more comfortable with things than others. When I played it with Gamesy, Sunbury, Alice, and Fadelay, I really felt, even though I didn't know Faye and Alice all that well at that point, there wasn't an immediate click of like, oh, you get it? Even if I didn't know at that time that they've had their own journeys in gender identity and experiences there. There was that immediate connection of, oh, yeah, you understand. This is a game that I'm comfortable playing with you. Alice, you did hear your name. Yeah, I was just talking about the Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and you're one of them. In the game that we played, you are great. I was just talking that when we played Thirsty Sword Lesbians, I didn't know you that well. But immediately there was a thing where it's like, oh yeah, you understand. Even if I didn't know like your history or your identity, you understand stuff. You're a lesbian, you have swords, you're thirsty as fuck, yeah. And with Faye as well, there was like, this isn't me saying like there is a thing such as gaydar and I have it. I don't think that is the case, but very much I feel comfortable sharing my identity with you. I feel comfortable playing this game. with you. Even if I myself don't yet fully have the vocabulary for it, or don't yet fully have the knowledge of myself. But I feel that there is safety, I feel that there is understanding. We can share this between us in a safe way. There's a vibe around people who are in on this stuff. Yeah. I know some people can fuck it up and fake that shit. But it is, I think, for this long, I'm very glad to have had a weekly morning call scheduled before going off the stream. It was... We didn't know each other for that long, at the very least. And I do want that back, though, Alice. We should talk more. That I'll accept. You. But yeah, let's put this over here. Time is fucking hard, yeah. Especially with my fucked up time, like, sleep schedule and your job and... Yeah. Okay. I feel like the Magnus Archives is very much in the, yeah, sure. It was tricky to play, and I feel like I did mess up some shit in the session that I've played, but it was fun. I got back from people that they enjoyed it too, and I should figure out more of the system both for this and Numenera. You've been trying to do like weekly Discord gatherings to watch stuff that shouldn't be too bad for you if you're having a bit of trouble sleeping. Okay. That would be neat. Yeah, I think most of the trouble that I had with Magnus Archives is just the system that I'm not fully aware of how things work yet. I would love to play in it. Pretty much right after study hall. Oh my goodness. That is late, yeah. I would like that though. Feel free to, if you want to, like if that is not too much of a hassle, to ping me when that happens. Because I wasn't aware of this. And I would like to be aware of it. Ooh, next up. I don't know if I don't know if like how you usually add here, but we'll reach out specifically. Thank you. Because if it's add here and I'm not there actively and I'm like offline or on my phone, yeah, then I won't see that. So I appreciate the call out or the reach out. This goes here. Triangle Agency, haven't played, but I want to. I want to play that so bad. It looks gorgeous. The layout of that book is so perfect. I really hope they win all of the prizes for it. It is so incredibly gorgeous. It looks so much... It almost looks dreadful in the way of corporate bureaucratic bullshit, because that is what you must like form like conform to as a character in this game. The tagline on the first page is "Clock in, save the world." You get artwork like this. You get artwork like this. you get the idea of like, wait, you are not authorized to proceed until you have read the terms and conditions located just to your left. Reading pages out of order is dangerous. Attempt at your own risk. Reading numberless pages is forbidden. What does that even mean? That sort of thing. This is not control in the best way. There is no need for this, but if it generates positive feelings, you may sign your name as a reminder of the important life decision you are making of your own will. What is happening here? Oh, it looks so good. There's this kind of thing, like, why is this askew? Why? What is happening? Why are certain things dark and blue and yellow and red? And why is all of these things happening? Human flaw alert? Our mission, stabilize reality. What is going on here? It's mind-bending in what it is. And it's so... Here, access denied. If you would like to view this page in full. Just... Ah! I want to play this, and I know that after Lancer, we will probably get back to Iroh Chronicles, which I do want. And I know that we also want to play more Lancer. But my goodness, I want to play this as well. Let's see, we are over halfway done with this. I think, yeah, we're over halfway done. But we still have some time to go. Last we left off, we did the Magnus Archives. And we get to Eat the Reich. Triangles was last, you're right, Triangles was last. Eat the Reich is probably in great fun, let's go. This was such a fun time. Alvrins did really well as game master for this. And it was just really fun to, especially in current climate where unfortunately fashion rears its ugly head once more, and people in power seem to really enjoy the idea of it. That way you're just very clear about, hey, let's fight, kill, and make powerless these Nazis. Really appropriate time for you. Yeah. It sucks. Ugh. I did see a thread on Blue Sky about... there was this one game that was banned from TTRPG. And the topic or the thread was about, like, this is a bad look for the TTRPG. But also, the game Rebel Scum made, and there are other games that do the same, but it's not a call to action. The idea of fighting space Nazis is not a call to action, because space Nazis aren't real. They aren't real. There is a real enemy to people who just want to live their lives. And playing a game like Rebel Scum is great. Like, there's ideologically worse games. Like, as far as games go in ideology, Rebel Scum isn't bad, but it's not activism. And that thread was like, this is more a sense of like, this is how far we've come in yeah. Oh no, that is a valid point, Danny. Absolutely. Both things are true. And especially that sort of takes of like, hey, more than one thing can be true at the time. seems to be hard to find on the internet. I find myself on the periphery of VTuber circles. I do not engage with it so much, but I do see people talking about it. And that is some troubled waters lately. And it does make me reconsider some things. Like, should I be more active and actually raise my voice sometimes in those circles? Or is that something that I should steer clear of because I see how much vitriol and how much there is a lot of punching, and it's not punching up. It may not be punching down, but it is definitely punching sideways. Yeah. It is nice if that catharsis has you fighting the kinds of people hurting you. Yes. And I will not begrudge you for it. This is an interesting one. This is Magicians, and it has a title in Korean that I cannot pronounce because I cannot read it. And this is a TTRPG. It was kickstarted a while back. I did not kickstart it, but I did find the book at my friendly local game store. Unfortunately, I'm going to put this in the why did I buy this? Because I only bought it because it sounded interesting, not because it sounded fun or like it sounded like something I wanted to play. This is a game that lets you, what's the word? It lets you learn Korean as you play. Excellent concept. But the way things are set up, like the book, is not catching me. Like, I need to have the language of the text and the layout of the book to be in cooperation. I feel like it would need someone who knows Korean there to tell you if you were doing it right. That does feel that way, yeah. But also the way the layout is set up does not help me to get through the book. Like with Triangle Agency, the way the book is laid out, the style of it, allows me to read on more. Like it keeps me pulled in. With that book, the way it is laid out is just like, is this a PhD? Or is this someone's first ever attempt at layout? I know that is rude. Like I have very little in the way of knowledge or experience with layouts, but I do read. I know that I would rather read a book like Triangle Agency or Break over Magicians. I would rather read a book like Fabula Ultima over, honestly, the Magnus Archives. Great layout still, but something about it makes it harder to see it as a game and easier to see Magnus Archives TTRPG book as like it's an encyclopedia or like a addendum to the podcast, which in itself is great, but it makes it harder for me to read it as a game. Lancer, for instance, also has really good layout for the type of game that it is. another game, like one of those almanac books you could get for fandoms. Yeah, like that. This is a game that I have not played yet. I've seen it. I've seen it get played. I just realized that I haven't. I just realized that I haven't played this. Interesting. Misspent Youth. This feels like it's over here. Or maybe here. I think actually that vampires should be around here. Misspent Youth is a cooperative game that is very much against, like, players versus GM. The Game Master plays the authority. The authority is somewhere, something, someone that controls the world of the players. That can be a town, that can be a country, that can be the world itself. It could be the head of a family, if you want to go about it. Together with the players, you build out who the authority is, how it controls the people that live in wherever the authority works and thrives, and how the players fight against it. And then it kind of becomes a improvisational scene telling, or like storytelling exercise, where you roll dice to see if you come out on top in this particular scene. And you can exchange certain things, you can change out personality traits to give you an edge or like a victory in this particular scene, but you are then forever changed as a character. So for instance, someone who feels like they are nervous, they might use something to win in a scene, but then that nervous trait becomes paranoid. So it increases in intensity and it becomes worse. I believe it was played on the show Tabletop with Will Wheaton, and they played some sort of dystopia where I don't watch many of those kind of shows. That's fair. They played in a very dystopian setting where it was like teenagers that lived under the watchful eye of almost like very medical, kind of like kind of like a Clockwork Orange, in that like the authority used different chemicals and different pharmaceuticals to keep the teenagers in line. It's an interesting concept, but I'm not entirely certain who I would want to play this with. Okay, Candela Obscura. Haven't played, but I want to. Yeah, let's put it right there. I do want to. I have heard that for the fantasy that it aims for, it doesn't do it the best. I've heard people saying, like, if you want this kind of atmosphere, this kind of intrigue, this kind of vague Victorian horror, Victorian-esque horror, Vaesen is better. and like it has a better system for it. So I have my idea has been tinged by those kind of reviews. Starfinder, this is like first edition, so like Pathfinder first edition. So I'm putting that here as well. I haven't played it. I do want to, but yeah, maybe probably it's more akin to here. Open Legend is a actual open source TTRPG. It is fully available online. But I feel like as far as full like development or modules and such goes, it is pretty much end of life. It doesn't seem like people do anything with it. At least publicly, there might be a very big hidden in the shadows scene. I think it comes over here. I do want to play it sometimes, and it is a system that is fully system agnostic. You build your character with points, kind of similar to the story path system. But it is very much like how you build your character is entirely up to you, depending on what kind of skills you've improved or what abilities you've improved. You get different boons and banes that you can apply. So if you're very strong, you can eventually, I believe, get like a teleportation boon that you can do a certain thing. Or if you have control of power generation, you can have a boon that deals this type of damage, that sort of thing. We get a little brown booklet. This is the 1,000-year-old campfire. I will put this in, I guess. I have played this once. It was fun. I did it on stream. It's a one-player RPG where you develop the history of a particular campsite in a cave. And it is very much a it's a novel experience. I don't see how novel it is when you try to play it again. We have the Cosmere role-playing game. This is very much a but I want to, but I haven't played it because I don't have it yet. It is not fully developed yet. So we're putting that maybe here. Let's do that. Hopefully, with tariffs and stuff such as they are, I will be able to get this relatively soon, but hard to say. Root the TTRPG. This is very much a yeah, sure. If you run this, I will happily play. This I have only played once, but I feel like it's kind of similar. This is Quest. Quest is also more of a narrative game-like. I think even more rules light than Root, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, which, if you're familiar with that sort of thing, that is way more narrative-driven than a 5th edition D&D, for instance, which is definitely more number crunchy compared. In comparison. But Quest is interesting in that you get to build a Quest character profile similar to the Cypher system, but they go full on in on it. As such. So, your name, your pronouns, your age, your height, your role, your distinctive features, your style, your home, your community, your ideal, your flaw, your dream. And then I carry. That is when you get into anything resembling. Pretty sure I saw similar thing in school when I was like 7. Fair. Absolutely fair. But the way that this is your character profile, like your character sheet, that to me is amazing. I have played this once. I played this with a group of random folks. And it was really fun. Wait a minute, is there something behind? No, never mind. But yeah, Quest is very much, I think I played this kind of like a roguish character that was the son of some noble family in the setting, and the fact that I could switch between these two forms, I know, sue me, was kind of like their power. Let's bring this up here. Transforming is fun. Correct. Ooh, we get to another no. It's a less strong no than the other two here. Cyberpunk Red. No hate, no bad will to the DM in that game, as I've played with them before in a different game that was Werewolf. I do not like this system. Maybe Cyberpunk is just not for me as a genre, which makes sense because I've also put cities without number here. And Altered Carbon is over here, so But the system, you need to make sure like you've got the particular weapon, and it's so granular. A submachine gun is not a shotgun, is not a heavy pistol, is not a light pistol, is not a sniper rifle, is not... And then every one of those weapons has a different range band, and every one of those different weapons has a different skill. The rules as written for mitigating certain penalties or re-rolling certain things are so rigid that I just felt so stifled, and I was like, okay, when is my turn? I do this, that's it, I roll poorly, go ahead, next turn. No game is better than bad game. I fully agree with. But I also felt like I was the problem player after a certain time, because I wasn't having fun and I was having a hard time keeping my lack of fun from touching the other players. That is my flaw there. That was my issue. Shadowrun has some similarities to that, but rerolling is pretty good. You just reroll or fail dice instead of rerolling the entire roll. Oh, that is a relief. We get to Fiasco, and I think Fiasco is right over here. Fiasco is a GM-less game. You play characters that you build for each other. So I don't have a character sheet, but I do get notes from my neighboring players what we are to each other. So I could say to the player next to me, I owe you money. And the player on my left could say, you are in a relationship with my character. And so eventually you build this web, this connected web of things like locations, items, characters, character relationships, mostly. And after those things, you build your character. Like, hey, who am I? What's my name? What do I look like? Keeping in mind all of the different relationships you have to locations, items, and other players. Fiasco is built on the idea most likely everyone will have a shit time in the narrative, and the way you play that out is going to be fun. Fiasco is built to play out stories like movies from the Coen brothers. That would be things what was it called again? Fargo. That is kind of like the example, I would say. It is like criminals descend upon this sleepy town and things will go horribly, horribly wrong. Eventually, the car boot with all of the money is going to go up in flames. And who has done it? Who is caught in the blast? And who has the most to lose? Those are the questions that you will be answering throughout this evening of play. This is very much like Dread, not built for more than one-shots. But the one-shots that you are going to be playing are going to be very memorable. So I still remember the game that I played with Fludis and Stamkunst. I still remember the game that I played with my other group. I still remember the different characters that eventually we kind of replayed like a plotline from Breaking Bad, where I played a retired chemistry teacher who eventually dies after poisoning a teenage soccer team. No, it wasn't soccer, it was hockey. A teenagers hockey team, because their coach was drugging them to do better, and eventually my character died on the way to hospital in an ambulance. You're expected to not really care about your character and more care about what is the story that you build with everyone. If you want your character to have a good ending, do not play Fiasco. Just don't. You can have a good ending. It is highly unlikely. Do not get in the robots, or do get in the robots. This is I guess, this is also a one-player game. The game, or the story that I've built with that, I still have to play. It has been a while. My goodness. I prioritize different things. It's fun. I guess I could play it again. I don't think I will. They could not keep me out of the robots. Danny, you are a gem. Thank you so much for being here. I am starting to feel my jaw, my throat. I am talking too much. Luckily I don't have anything to do in the next few days, so that's good. We have 4 more games. Only a few left to go, exactly. Scum and Villainy. I think it would be behind Scion, but yes, it is fun. I think actually Thirsty Sword Lesbians, if someone offers that, that is definitely in the when do we play range. And maybe Daggerheart too, because like that it is novelty. I will probably not think about this in the same way in like half a year. But for what it is currently, I want to play more of that. Common Villainy is pretty fun. If people ask me to play that again or run that again, I'll probably do that. Also, let me try out my name before I knew I was going to be using. Yeah! I love the power of TTRPGs for reinventing yourself and exploring yourself. Figuring out, like, hey, what works, what doesn't. Can I attempt different pronouns, different expressions, different presentations? Can I be a silly little guy? Can I be elegant? Can I be grotesque? Can I be myself? I love that. Did notice most of my characters are masked. Yeah. And most of my characters have at least a hint of androgyny. If not outright femme. That's some good shit. Deviant, the Renegades. Let's put that a little bit above Scion, because I feel Deviant and Scion, simply because we played that with the same group, or slightly similar, slightly separate, different. Deviant is great. I love it. I want to play Charisma again. Charisma will be back. They will return someday. You will see. But it's such a good, you're a fucked up weirdo. Yeah, exactly. I don't care what happens behind me as long as I look away from the explosions. I give my characters problems to make them stronger. Yeah, exactly. What else can be said about Deviant? I think that's as close and as much experience with, well, not World of Darkness, because it's Chronicles. Yeah, that's as much experience as I've got with the Of Darkness game series. Ooh, Fantasy Age. A game system built on the TTRPG made for Dragon Age originally. It was played on tabletop. It then became its own actual play series with Laura Bailey was in there. Hank Green was in there. There were 2 others. I think Yuri Lowenthal. And no. Hold on, hold on. Titan's Grave, that was the name. It was... Programming... Where was this? It doesn't show who was in it. That was a very interesting mashup of different things. It was, yeah, Will Wheaton, Games Master, Alison Hayslip as Kiliel, Hank Green as Ankia, Laura Bale as Lemley, and Yuri Lowenthal as Slethk. And they used, I believe, Modern Age or Fantasy Age, but it is a 3d6 system. If you roll matching numbers, you can use stunts to do certain things extra. And it did seem like a fun system, but I've not had the opportunity to play them. I actually think they might actually be more akin to here. Yeah, haven't played. There are other games first to play. But if someone went, hey, I have a particular setting in mind for this, and I think this would work well there, let's go. And then finally, we go to Avatar: The Last Airbender, the TTRPG, or Avatar Legends specifically, because you can do Korra as well, the Korra era and different eras, not just The Last Airbender. Like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, it's powered by the Apocalypse system. That works really well for it. I've had fun with it. It is... Ooh, do I want to play Avatar Legends more than Root? Maybe I put Root here and Avatar Legends here. Yeah, let's do that. Because with Root, you can have all kinds of different stories as long as it's kind of like woodland creatures. With Avatar Legends, the stories you tell, I feel, and this is kind of like the same thing with Avatar Legends, Stargate, the Cosmere role-playing game. I immediately feel constricted by the already existing canon world information. I think that is a thing that is tricky to mitigate in my world. You need to write more fanfic. See, that's... I was put off by fanfiction for two reasons. One has to do with a certain author, and one has to do with one has to do with an ex. They won't see this. Reading it taught me to play a bit more fast and loose with canon. Yeah, that is fair. My initial reaction, at the very least, is like, but it's set in, like, if it's set to be the case there. It is set in stone. I will not touch it. I will only play on the periphery of canon, where it is uncertain and where it is not yet written. And that is a very stuffy way of looking at it and going about it. I know, but that is the one I currently have. For me, as long as the established characters and the rules of the world are the same, it's fine. That is fair. That's it.